I'm reading an excerpt from my book 9. I'm Miles Martin, living in Nenana, Alaska. And this is 2021. I love my boat more than my house. When my home flooded years ago, I was more concerned about my boat. I said, I can always live in my boat. I can't go boating in my house. I have a nice flat bottom, all-weld 24-foot long that looks like an arrow. Low sides, unsafe, but economical and easy steering. Rated for a 40 horse, I have 115 horses in harness. I had to beef the back up to take the weight. I can't get to full throttle. Overloaded with an inch of freeboard, she leaps forward at a touch of the throttle like a gazelle. Nice, quiet 4-stroke Mercury. I do not have a nice top speed. I get to about 30, maybe 35 miles an hour, and the entire 24-foot boat is out of the water. I'm too narrow in the back to go faster, supporting all the weight of the boat and its gear hanging in the air. I can travel further than anyone else I've ever met without having to buy gas. I have an 800-mile cruising range. This is how I can get into some hard-to-reach areas few dare or can get to. It's like going to the headwaters of the Amazon. I smile at that thought. I'd be hard to follow. A plane can't land in the twisted rivers where I end up. Cop boats tend towards big, gas-guzzling, shallow-draft jets, using at least 5 times the fuel I use. I could run 30 straight hours without slowing down. I've had over 40 years of experience. I'm good at what I do. Few others could get where I go without getting stuck, even with a jet boat. Mostly the local Indians can navigate here, but fewer of them even try. I get along with the natives all right for the most part. Some of the young ones seem jealous of my abilities they have not picked up on, or it could be because I'm white, period. It's the older, wise elders I get along with best. I had trapline wars in the old days with some of the native families. When I was young, feisty, and owned the world, trouble simply came with the territory. They were good years, though. So many geese they would darken the sky, block out the sun. Now a flock of a dozen is a lot. I do not feel as much like hunting the last ones. It was different when a meal or two could not be missed from the population. I understand better how Buffalo Bill felt, once a proud buffalo skinner, later in life a preservationist. Is it overhunting that made the geese disappear? Maybe so. Except there are fewer hunters, fewer who depend on subsistence. Wilderness travelers now bring meals in cans cooked on Coleman stoves. Who wants to take the time to clean a goose? Not even modern natives. I think pollution has a lot more to do with the lack of wildlife than population. Civilization would not admit this, but it could be global warming. Blame the weather. For sure, the swamps and lakes are drying up. In my lifetime, I've seen a huge change. I sigh. I may not have a grasp on what's happening along the flight path of the geese. For the wilderness people where geese nest, it's hard to comprehend how many people are in civilization. Likewise, the civilized can't comprehend an entire state with 1 person per 100 square miles. The rules in one area may not be workable in the other. Now I think of change. The Minto Flats used to be all lakes. I could not find the river easily. I'd get lost out on a chain of lakes looking for the river. Today, trees all along the riverbank, no lakes at all. My theory is each time there's an earthquake, the land rises. The rise makes the water drain to lower ground. I wonder, though, why this has not been going on as a trend for thousands of years. I have no answer to how the earth was compared to how it and why it is now. I think about it and have theories. Such thinking eats up the hours and miles as I put in another 15-hour day. By the end of this day, I'm to hell and back yonder. I'd be hard to find, even with a full-fledged effort. After 2 days, not even to the nearest 100 miles of where I am could be calculated. I'm not only off the grid, off the map, but off the planet called civilization. Even God has trouble finding us. Blood pressure noticeably drops. I'm at the frozen cut at the cliff I often use to find my friend Flower, 300 miles from civilization. As usual, there's an ice fog and drop in temperature in the cut in the ice cliff. I tie and hide the boat securely because I do not know when I'll be back. I pass plants I recognize from this area. I see monkshood that looks like modern flowers today, but lower to the ground, and twin flowers instead of one. The colors seem richer. I once believed seeds from 40,000 years ago that were frozen, thawed out for the first time, and sprouted. They may grow only in a specific environment, like rich mammoth dung. Now I'm not so sure. Out of the fog I hear, "Sunshine, is that you?" I see a girl's hand come out of the mist. I take this hand, replying, "Were you expecting someone else?" I have come here to visit a bunch of times now. It did not take long for us to understand each other, even though our languages are different. Partly we point, gesture, and she knows some of my words and I know some of hers. Life is harsh but simple, requiring fewer words than civilized life. Conversations tend to be about acquiring food, staying warm, defending ourselves in some way. She is her usual tomboyish, happy self, except long black, feminine, neatly kept hair. Her intelligent eyes are the first thing I notice. She looks like a young version of Cher. I never knew how old Flower will be. As each time I arrive here, I'm accurate in time only to the nearest decade, or there is a reason for visits at exact times that I'm unaware of. Sometimes I feel Flower is more in charge than I am. I have met her tribe varying from 5 to a dozen members, yet it is Flower I feel bonded to in some way. When we met, she had a doll with her and was about 10 years old. I vaguely recalled the doll from another time, another life. But that was not sure. I am not sure now. Oddly, I brought taxidermy eyes and glue with me, not knowing why, and was able to fix her doll as a way to introduce myself and win over the tribe. Every time I see her, she has the doll. She says she lost her mother when young, and the doll is from her mother, so she values it for this reason. We seem connected in some way, bonded, to the extent I wonder if she could be my child. A crazy thought, yet it is crazy that I'm here at all. I'm traveling back in time and have accepted this, a time about 40,000 years ago. It is possible this is all a dream, an illusion, something from a senile brain, because I may wish to escape from a civilized world there is no escape from. I'm not going to ask a lot of questions on the subject. Here is my beloved Flower. "Good to see you again, Sunshine." She gives an exuberant hug. I am glad to see her as well. She's now in her 20s. She does not pronounce sunshine well, so I accept I am Soonshine to her and the tribe. I had to give a name when we met and did not know how I should be called. I've been called Wild Miles much of my life, but for longer, and especially now, I am nicknamed Sunshine, as I try to cheer people up and bring good news. We had been discussing fire at the time. I pointed at the sun, a source of light, and made a fire. This is a name the tribe can understand. I want this to be my relationship with them, a source of light and warmth, but this is up to them. I'm accepted as part of the tribe. I'm unsure of my role, as everyone else seems to have a place and a purpose, something they provide. Flower brings me to the tribe along a familiar path. She told the tribe she was coming to get me. She sensed I was coming. I arrive at a temporary spring camp. These are nomadic subsistence people who spend a month at a time in one place, then move on. Sometimes the stay is only a week, but as long as a month, maybe a season. I see the usual tamarack pole structure in the shape of a Quonset with mammoth hide over it. Sometimes there's one large hut, other times several smaller ones. Much depends on the terrain, the weather, I think the time of year. I give greetings to Chief Grizzly Claw, who has the bear scars across his face. I trust him. wise, slightly bent over. He sometimes has to listen to shaman, I noticed, as part of running the tribe. He sees Flower as special. Grizzly seems open-minded, likes me, may see a kindred spirit in me. He has long white hair, short, squat, happy face, but also strong, competent looking. Everyone is dressed in leather clothes. They tan themselves, reminding me of people of Siberia and novel specials I have watched on TV. Shaman wants to greet me. He feels he's head of the tribe and wants that recognition. I see him more as a business partner than a friend. He's crafty looking, skinny, tall, strong, man of magic, who wants us to all know it. We get along because I bring him cool stuff from the future. We will meet later, and I will pass something on to him that helps him look powerful among his people. There's Firemaker, the keeper of the fire. He's his usual easygoing self, gets along with everyone. His face is slightly lopsided, so I know he's not as smart as the others. Napper, the maker of weapons and stone tools, steps forward, the warrior of the bunch with warrior personality, quick of reflex, confident, loud, likes rules. I guess he's nice enough, except I'm not a good rules person. One of my life mottos has been, the line forms behind me. My secret is not to desire things that have lines behind them. Rules involving having a proper place in line. I know everyone. I thought there might be a new face, as Shaman had predicted Flower would have a child. I will have to discreetly inquire. There's a little tension between Shaman and the tribe, hopefully nothing serious. Flower takes me aside. As you predicted, the big power you gave Shaman stopped giving fire after about 1 moon cycle. He can't get it to work and is frustrated. As you also predicted, he did not take this well. He's been abusing his power of the new fire. Yes, I'd given him a half-used Bic lighter, explaining he needs to use this sparingly or the power would be abandoned. The fire god will be displeased. He was going around flicking the lighter every few minutes. I instinctively did not trust him enough to explain the details of the magic. Better if he believes that to keep his power, he needs to deal with me. In this way, he's less likely to be devious and try to steal it. I hope to convince him we can be friends, as power is not what I care about. Flower hesitates. Also, she hesitates, I was with child, but this did not go well, and I lost the child before it was born. This, combined with the loss of Bic, has Shaman looking bad. Flower has tears in her eyes, remembering her loss. It's been over a year ago. There have been changes, power shifts, tribal future goal changes since I've been gone. I'm not aware at first, beyond noticing Shaman being in a poor mood and cool towards me. We set these thoughts aside for now as I enjoy a nice meal of mammoth. I participated in a mammoth butcher one visit. Wow, what an experience. I remind Flower a lot of guts. We both laugh. I'm pretty tired, Flower. Been a long day of travel. She takes me to a hut, and I bed down in a pile of furs. Flower lends me her doll to go to sleep with. So you have company. It's true, I sleep better holding the doll. I wake up to a clear day, hot sun. The sun seems hotter than I'm used to. Is it closer to the sun? Perhaps the air is much more free of debris? I yawn. My blood pressure is down further. Sugar level is normal. I love the smell of furs. I crawl out from under the hide hut flap door on all fours. The village people are here to greet me expectantly. I imitate one of the camp wolves and woof. Everyone laughs. Flower comes over to help me stand up. I'm stiff from yesterday. Flower suggests we take a walk, even spend the day on a walkabout. She needs to gather some roots of some kind. A good time to talk. The tribe accepts her as my apprentice. She has a natural instinct for herbs and looking out for others, getting people to trust her. She had tentatively been working as Shaman's apprentice before I arrived. No other choice. She and he are not much alike. He would rule with power, deceit, fear. If Shaman helps you, then you owe him big time. She was only 10 years old at the time. Well, I made a good excuse to spend less time with Shaman when I arrived. I had rescued Flower's father when we all met, and it was logical I spend time with Papa and Flower. Papa is quiet, with strength, good father instincts. He appears slow when first met. Papa is a good hunter for the tribe and can be deceitfully fast. May be a good actor who can lull game into believing he is no threat, the sort of person game willingly gives themselves to. Papa is not around much, out hunting, so I began spending time with Flower. She'd ask questions about magic, helping, curing hides, dealing with tribal issues, and of course was grateful I fixed her toy bear she carries around. The tribe seems to know something they keep from me that I set aside. There are polite smiles and knowing looks when Flower comes around. I assume it is kind of a father-daughter pull. Appreciates me taking care of her toy bear and all. Since she was 12, she has looked after me and been my biggest link to the tribe. I'm gone for years, and the tribe patiently waits. Oddly, by my time, it is only months. I once arrived after being gone a year, and everyone is 5 years older. Dang! Sunshine, it is all wet. Puzzled look as she sniffs the doll. Tears, Sunshine, sternly. This is not time for tears. True. But life can be complicated and hard to explain. Nothing I want to talk about. Learning how to be a shaman, she knows about sacrifice and the responsibility of knowledge. So far, her sense of duty, what she wishes to accomplish, has interfered with her ability to have a mate and a life partner. As we have discussed in the past, rewards and prices to pay for life choices. There is always something to give up if you want big things. I wish to get caught up on what's going on, but this trip just family things, fun things, not business. Or as Flower puts it, if I'm to be a teacher, it must be fun. If people do not enjoy the changes in what is happening, they will not accept it. What good is life if we do not enjoy it? I used to tell her this when she was a child. It is a slap in the face to our Creator if we do not enjoy the life we were given. We go for a walk up a winding path through the tundra at the base of a glacier to find a rock outcropping up high above the ice to sit and overlook the valley of mammoths. Villagers are out and about doing chores down below. Bundles of firewood are on the shoulders of two. Shaman is out gathering colt's foot root for cough syrup used in winter. Fish are being dried on racks along the glacier stream at the bottom of the valley. Fog hides most of the creek bottom. I absent-mindedly get out my bug dope and squirt some on my hand and rub it on my face. Flower puts her hand out. I squirt the modern white man poison into her hand so she can avoid mosquito bites. She knows what this is. DEET. Something no one in this time can make. It's simply magic. She says the magic word again, DEET. I'm not into the 1,000 ways I could make $1 million today. We do not share the wonders of DEET with the rest of the village, the wonderful world of secrets. On the timeline, Flower and I know each other. I have suspected for a long time she knows more about why we know each other, why the doll is familiar. She only smiles when I ask, all in good time. I assume she has her assignment I am not privy to. Well, I can't tell her everything either. Sunshine, why can't I come to the future with you? That would simply not do. No! Not even for a visit? Not safe enough. I yawn, staring up at the clouds, laying on a comfortable rock covered with soft moss. We're going to have to spend the night away from home. There's not enough time before dark. Flower had already guessed we will have to spend a night out. She adds, Saber Cat Rock is not that far away. Let's camp there. Yes, a good place to camp. The rock hangs out and offers shelter in case of rain and offers a reflective backdrop for the night fire. The tribe will see the firelight up on the mountainside and knowing this camp spot will assume we are safe. Flower, did you bring the hot coal with you? Always. Yes, well, I could see forgetting, considering all that is on her mind. She shows me the birch bark holder for the fire coal, and I nod. She knows how to set the hot coal in dry grass and blow on it to start today's fire. A coal will be saved from the embers for future fires. Even though Firemaker is the official keeper of the fire, everyone in the tribe knows enough to go camping out overnight. Everyone can perform everyone else's role to some degree in case a tribal member is lost. Just as Hiawatha's people all knew how to make arrows, but most preferred to trade for arrows as made by Arrowmaker, who had a love and gift for it. We use our paws to gather dry grass for a warm sleeping nest, as all primates do. I understand better something my Scientology friend Crafty told me. There is therapy, relaxation, in doing simple, repetitive chores, especially those our ancestors performed that will be familiar to us. In the morning we begin the walk back. We'd had time to talk and get caught up on what has been going on while keeping warm in our furs around the fire. Out of the spruce forest, with branches covered in hanging moss, the sun is low enough to have its rising color of dark red speak of another fine day. In the valley below is tall sedge-grass with a string of low-growing dark green alder with more yellow and willowy colors. Bison, almost the size of elephants, are grazing, working their way to a good place to lay down for the day. They are most active in the early morning. This time of year in northern latitudes there is no complete darkness. A giant 14-foot tall cave bear is fishing in the stream. Flower points out some birds that look the most like dodo birds, flightless big birds that stick to the grassy open country. We're in no need of food, so we're not hunting. We're just enjoying the view. Overhead has been turquoise blue, unpolluted, pure sky. A pair of vultures with 12-foot wingspans circles lazily against the sun. Saber-Cat Rock is behind us now. Flower stoops to pick up a rock as I gather my breath. Walking is good for me, but I'm still an elder. I ask about the rock. Fine agate, perfect to chip an arrowhead. I just smile and nod. I understand, and it's a good find. She will give it to Napper. Napper knows how to heat the agate, then very slowly cool it to take the stress out of the rock, so it naps in a more controlled manner and is stronger. I pick up an herb I recognize to show off my own knowledge. Flower smiles gently. Right plant, wrong time of year. I'm lucky to know some basics. Actually, I know much more than most civilized people do, but realize now these savages are much more knowledgeable. Flower tells me, any time you depend on plant medicine, it is important to not just know the plant, but when to pick it, what part of the plant, how to preserve it to get the most out of it. I find another plant. No sunshine. This seed is good only just before it drops. These seeds are still green. Some years this plant is no use harvesting at all. The various chemical concentrations will change as well. Some medicinal plants require specific soils to have medicinal value because they depend on chemicals they pick up and interact with in the soil. This is one reason medicine is such a touchy subject, requiring a lifetime of education and training. I can understand why modern man extracts the good part, preserves and standardizes it. No education is needed to grab a bottle labeled vitamin C and know the dosage. I sometimes feel like it is me who is the apprentice learning from Flower. On the way home, a twig snaps behind us, so we are on the alert. A cave cat screams 10 minutes later. We're being followed. We're close to the village and get back all right, but we are reminded how fragile life is and how we need to remain alert all the time. Man does not rule supreme here.